Very good afternoon, children. So, in the last class, we have learned what are the procedures as well as how the election system will work in our country. So, according to that, the first one, we have to divide the country into certain constituencies. Okay, we have to divide some areas, and next one, reserved constituencies. Afterwards, the government has to decide to whom, from which age to which age the voting right should be given. And afterwards, election nomination file. What are those representatives will come? So in the and also how they are playing very important role during the period of election campaigning, how they will go and approach it. After that, the election polling as well as the result date. Okay, so we have learned about these. In this way, the people will the elections will be held in our country to form a government. So next one, what makes election in India as a democratic? So we get to read a lot more about unfair practices in the election. Newspaper, television, of a report often refers to such allegation. Most of these reports about the following. Some of the questions are being raised whether the free and fair elections are being happened or not. The people are not threatening or not. So free and fair elections are being done, are being held or not. So unfair practices are being reported in the television as well as in the newspaper. So first one is inclusion of false name and exclusion of genuine names in the voter list. Inclusion means some false name will be included in the voting list, and also genuine name, the particular names will be not there in the voters list. We will see the gap between the voters list there. So inclusion means some false name, some false identity will be there in the voters list, and some of them will be the genuine name that will be not there in the voter list only. So according to that one, they are having the voter ID, but in the election voters list, it will be not there. So misuse of government property. During the period of election, the ruling party, what they will do, they will give some facilities for the political parties for their campaigning, as well as excessive use of money by the rich candidates. So if any rich candidate, if they are standing in the election, means more and more money will be spent on that one. As well as on the polling day, any kind of threatening, rigging should not be taken place, as well as in some places we will see. So rigging means it's nothing but fraud and malpractices indulged by the party or a candidate to increase its vote. So it includes stuffing the ballot boxes by the few person using the vote of others. So during the night time, by doing the malpractices. So before that, I have told the ballot papers were being used to put the vote. So they may misuse. They were misusing by putting the um, vote in the name of other members. So that is why, to avoid that one only, the EVM machines are being introduced to avoid this kind of usage means. Okay, this kind of usage. So who will check whether the uh, elections are held very free or not, or very fair or not? Okay, whether each and every political party are following the rules and regulations. So some department will be there not to check out that one, to control the political parties to do such unfair practices. Okay, you can see in a less number but not in more numbers. Okay, so one simple way for the checking whether the elections are fair or not is it to at who conducts the election. Are they independent from the government? So whatever departments are being there, are they dependent on another forming government? They have to follow the rules and regulations what the ruling government is saying, whether the prime minister is saying. Do they have enough power to able to control free the political parties to do such unfair practices and to conduct the free and fair election? Do they actually use this power? Yes. So in our country, to check whether the free and fair elections are being took place or not, to control the unfair practices during the period of election, the one commission is formed in our country to check about these all. Okay, whether the political parties are not misusing any kind of power during the period of election. So that commission is nothing else, Independent Election Commission. So this Independent Election Commission was formed in the year 1950 in the month of January 25. The Election Commission came into existence in our country. Okay, so this Election Commission of India, they are having independent power to control the political parties to do the unfair practices during the election. And also, um, whatever I have told, to conduct the free and fair election. Sometime they will do the threatening. Sometime they will do the ballot paper. What I told, malpractices to put some of the votes in that ballot box. So to avoid such thing only, a new technology was being introduced called EVM machine. Even EVM machine was the candidates, they used to tell that it is not showing correctly that to this person only the person has been voted there due to the technical issues. For that reason only, the election commission still they reformed. They introduced a VVPAT machine. VVPAT machine will show whether if you press one button to any one candidate means immediately it will show whether you have given the vote for that correct person or not. Okay, so you have pressed number 2 button means it will show number 2 button to whom you have given the vote for it. So it will be clear for uh, for the voters as well as for the candidate those are standing in the election, that the election commission has done in a free and fair way. Okay, so this election commission is enjoying a lot of powers in the during the period of election as well as while conducting the election there. So election commission conduct the election in all over the India and work in independently and has the power. So it enjoys the same kind of independence what the judiciary is um, enjoys. Okay, because it is independent, it is not dependent on any kind of ruling party or any kind of political party. So who will elect the election chief commission, the head of the election commission? He will be appointed by the president of our country. The chief election commission is appointed by the president of our country. So if the government is not happy to the work of commission, okay, the tough rules and regulations are being uh, implemented during the period of election and the government is not happy towards it, the election commission is not answerable to any kind of government, as well as they should not question on the election commission who is the head of that one. They are not answerable to the present ruling government as well as to the prime minister, and it is very difficult to remove the chief election commission by using their power. It is like impossible to remove the CEC. If they want to remove means the judiciary will enter in that one. They will check whether he has done correct or not. If he had made a correct decision means then no one can remove the chief election commission from his post. Okay, if any kind of government he is not happy, the chief minister as well as the powerful minister is not happy the work of the commissioner. Okay, so that commissioner, the government what they will do by using their influential power, he can remove from the post, but in the election commission it is not possible. So election commission takes the decision on every aspect to conduct as well as to control the election from the announcement of election date till the declaration of a result. So it implements the code of conduct and punishes any candidate or a party that violates any kind of rules and regulations which we have discussed in the code of conduct. Okay, if they are doing such so means immediately the election commission they can dismiss the nomination file which was filed by that candidate. Okay, so during the election period, the election commission can order the government to follow some guidelines. Okay, so whatever the code of conduct will be there, compulsory each and every government they have to follow this kind of guidelines to prevent the use and misuse of government power, to enhance its chance to win in the election, or to transfer some government officials. Okay, these are having power to give the order as well as the guidelines to change some of the official government officials like IAS, KS officers to recruit in some other place. They are having the power to transfer some government official also. So when on election duty, government officers work under the control of election commission and not under the government. When the official come to one opinion that the polling it is not done in a fair way, then they have the order to repoll it. Okay, so these are the functions how the election commission will uh, play as well as they work independently, because they are not answerable to any kind of government. If they want to remove, it is one of the impossible way to remove the election commissioner if the forming government is not happy towards his work, his or her work. So in this way, the election commission at present situation they are using the power to conduct free and fair election in the country. So next one, to check whether the elections are held in a properly or not, whether the people are aware about it or not, to check the quality of the voting means there are another procedures to find out. First one is the popular participation. The another way to check the quality of election process is to see whether the people participated in that in a enthusiasmly, in a very happyfully or not. So if they want to check the percentage, before 5 years, 72% of voting was been done, and this year 85% of voting has been done. So how they will come to know means they will check the quality of election whether they are conducting free or fair or not. So if the election process is not free or not, the people will not continue to participate to exercise their power. Okay, they will not come and put the vote. So people participation in election is usually measured by the voter turnout figure. Okay, turnout figure means nothing but the percentage of eligible voters who cast their vote in an election. So think that 100% are been there from 18 to 50 until their death, they can cast their vote. Whether those people have correctly participated or not, by taking the figure out, they will come to know. The turnout indicators actually they cast their vote. So in India, the poor, illiterate, unprivileged people vote in the large proportion as compared to the rich and privileged section. So if they want to increase the election participation, then such changes they will bring in the in the election by the election commissioner there. Next one, common people in India attach a lot of importance to the election, as also they feel that through the election they can bring a pressure on the political parties to adopt some of the policies and the program which are favorable to them. So in this way they can make some differences during the period of election. Okay, by casting their vote, if they want to bring some changes in the society, if they want to bring some changes, some laws, some tough laws, which are not implemented at the present situation, those common people during the period of election they can put pressure on that one to those political parties to adopt such policies and the programs which are favorable to them. So the interest of the voters in the election related the activities done by increasing over the years. It has to be increased, it should not be decreased there. So in the Lok Sabha election, recently they have told the number of voters are being increased at present when the elections are being held. Each and every people they casted their vote because each and every vote they are having the value. In what way value means, when you put the vote for the particular candidate means, if he or she elected, he will be your representative for 5 years, and he those people they will rule on you people. So if they are not doing any kind of work and if you are not casting your vote means, then the eligible, the capability candidate will not come. So that is why each and every vote are having its importance. So during that time what the common people will do, they will put the pressure on political parties to adopt such policies, such program which are favorable to them. So they can bring some differences during the period of election as well as after the election there. So in this way, we can also check whether the election, the people are participating or not, how much percentage of people are participating in the election, how many people are casting their vote. To check the quality of election only, these are the procedures will be taken under consideration. So if not, in the next election, they will put their lot of efforts to bring the voters, they will attract the voters by adopting such policies there. So acceptance of election outcome. So the final test of the free and fairness of the election has in the outcome itself. If elections are not free and fair, the outcome always the favor the powerful. In such situation, the ruling party does not lose the election. Okay, think that the people, more number of people, they have not casted their vote means whatever the forming government will be there na, once again that forming government will come, they will not lose the election, routinely they will win in the election there, whether it in a national level, whether it in a state level. In fact, in every 2 out of 3 election held in these last 15 years, the ruling party has been lost. If they are not doing means, then the ruling party is losing its power. So the outcomes of India's election speak of itself. The ruling party routinely lost the election in India both at the national level as well as in the state level. In fact, every 2 out of 3 election held in last 15 years, the ruling party has been lost. If the people are unhappy towards the forming government means, surely the people are uh, giving a vote against that ruling party. So the US and incumbent or a sitting elected representative. Okay, in the USA, the sitting elected representative rarely loses an election. Rarely, not frequently, rarely they will lose an election. But in India, about half of the sitting MP MLAs lose the election. The candidate who are known to have spent a lot of money by buying the votes and those with the known criminal collection often lose the election there. If a candidate, if he is spending a lot of money, he is influencing through his money, and he is having he or she, the candidate is having connection with the criminal people means, then often they will lose the in the election. Bearing a very few dispute election, the election electoral outcomes are usually accepted as a people verdict by the defected party. Always the people, they will lose the election if any kind of disputes are being arised among the political parties, and always we will see lot of disputes among there means the people are unhappy towards that political party and they will not give their vote. So in this way we will see the outcomes of elections in India. So even those these tough rules and regulations are being there means, still the challenges are been facing some democratic countries to conduct free and fair election in our in the world. Okay, so what kind of free and fair elections they are facing the challenges means, all these led to a simple conclusion, election in India are basically free and fair. So the party that win in an election and form the government does so because people have chosen it over its rivals. So this may not be true for every constituency. A few candidates may win purely on the basis of money, power, and unfair means. Not only purely, even though the tough rules and regulations are being there, so they will influence on people mind also by using the money power. But overall verdict of the general election still reflect popular preferences. There are very few expectations to this rule in the last 50 years in our country. This what makes an India election democratic. Yet the picture look different if we ask a deeper question. Are the people preferences based on real knowledge? Whether the people are electing the correct candidate? Is the election really playing a field for everyone? Can ordinary citizen hope to win in the election? Can ordinary citizen, if he stand in the election, means is he able to elect as your representative? If you go in a deeper way, so still some of the challenges are being faced by the uh, countries to held free and fair election. So according to that one, the candidates and the parties with a lot of money may not be sure for their victory, but they do enjoy a big and unfair advantage over the smaller parties and independent candidate. So even though the money power will not help for their victory, but also it is a fair disadvantage for smaller parties and independent parties because that money power they will influence on that person mind, that voter mind. He will not uh, vote for eligible candidate there. So in some parts of country, candidates with a criminal connection have able to push others out of the electoral race and secure the ticket from the major parties. In some countries, the criminal people they will push on others. They will bring another candidates, their close candidate, to stand in the election to win in the election race. As well as some families, some political parties will be there. The powerful person always they will offer the tickets to their family members only, and they will distribute the tickets to their relatives to form from these families to stand in the election. So very often election offer little choice to the ordinary citizen for both the major parties are quite similar to the each other both in the policies as well as the parties. Smaller parties and independent candidates suffer a huge disadvantage comparing to the big parties there as well as big parties. Okay, to conduct free and fair election, they will use the money power. The first one thing. So a lot of money not be sure for their victory. Whatever money they are spending, we can't tell that they will win in the election, but they will influence on smaller parties and independent parties during the election there. So in some parts of the country, the candidates with the criminal connections, what they will do, they will push the another people to stand in the election to win in the election race, so that they can influence the power during the forming government. So some political parties, what they will do, the topmost leaders, they will distribute the tickets only for their family members. It is like a family political party only. Okay, the top position, the major position will be given to those family members only. So it is a fair way to conduct a free and fair election. It is one of the challenge. So very often they will get the little choice, the major parties, but quite similar to the each policies as well as the parties there. The smaller parties and independent parties, by seeing the above points, it is a huge disadvantage for them if they are standing in the election. Comparing to the big parties, they will suffer very lot. So these challenges exist not just in India but also in the established democracies. Okay, so the people will demand to reform our election system. So still the election system to conduct free and fair elections. Still, some more tough rules and regulations should be uh, come there. So the people will give certain suggestions. So in this way, the election system is there in the democratic form of government. That too in India, you have learned how the election system, how the election procedure will take place, and which commission will come under consideration, and independently they will enjoy lot powers. I hope this chapter you have understood. If you are having any kind of doubt regarding this chapter, you can just pin your question in the group so that I will try my level best to sort out your problem. So signing out, have a great day. Bye everyone.